Hey everybody, this is Brandon Reed, the Welding Education Supervisor for Lincoln Tech on the Nashville campus. And I want to be the first to welcome you back. I'm really looking forward to seeing everybody. I know we've been out for quite a while, and students are just as excited as I am to come back to campus. Before we do, there are a few things we need to go over, because we have a process in the mornings before you come to class that you'll need to go through in order to be admitted to class. So let's start talking about that now. All right, as you see behind me in the education building, the bottom floor is going to be a check-in point. This is for a wellness check. In here, we're going to come in and we're going to have to do this a little slowly, observing all social distancing restrictions. So if you'll come with me, I'll show you how we're set up to do this. As you can see, as we move forward, you have yellow marks on the ground. They've been painted. We have directional arrows. You come in the right side, and then when you get your wellness check, you'll come back out through the left side. So, one student would stand at a mark, another student would stand at a mark, and we're going to move our way in, and hopefully this will be as least time consuming as possible. So as we move forward, we're coming into the building, observing social distancing, respecting the other students as we come in to get checked out. Now we're going to work our way to the table. We have several pieces of signage here. It says be wise and sanitize. No more than 10 people in this area at any time. Saving face, talking about a face mask or face covering. Please refrain from entering the building if you do not feel well. Give me some space. Again, social distancing. And your temperature will be taken with a non-contact thermometer, meaning that we won't be touching you, physically touching you. This is a non-contact thermometer. It operates as quite like a laser gun. So I want to go over a couple of those things with you, so you'll see and be prepared for this process. Now, the first thing you'll be checked with, as I said, it's a non-contact thermometer. So this will be inches from your head, and it'll give a fairly accurate reading as to your temperature on any given day. And what we're trying to do is make sure that our students feel well as they come back to class. So your temperature will be checked first. Now, after your temperature is checked, you'll have a basic, it's pretty standard, it's a basic daily wellness check sheet. The questions include, do you think you have a fever? Do you have a new or worsening cough? Do you have flu-like symptoms? Are you experiencing any unusual change in your ability to taste or smell? Because recently they have figured that out. That is a warning sign. And question number 5 is a two-part question. 5A has a question, have you been exposed to a person who has lab tested positive for COVID-19 in the past 14 days? A very reasonable question. And guys, I really need you to be honest and open about your answers when it comes to this, because again, it's not just yourself you're trying to protect, it's your classmates, students, faculty, and everybody else working on campus. So please be absolutely transparent when this question comes along. And the second part of that question is, if you answered the question yes, that you have been exposed to a person that tested positive for COVID-19, did you go with the suggested self-quarantine and isolation ideas set forth by the CDC? It says, if yes, have you self-isolated or quarantined for a period of 14 days since that exposure? Again, ladies and gentlemen, we need you to be honest and upfront about this. A lot of people's health are on the line. Alright, you will sign and print that and turn it in. Then, after you've gone through this process, you will get a color-coded bracelet. You've seen them at concerts or festivals. It'll wrap around and it'll stick and it'll be good for that day only. We haven't really nailed down what color goes with what day, But you'll see as we get this process rolling that certain colors will indicate specific days. Now, what I do want to discuss with everybody is PPE. PPE, that acronym stands for Personal Protective Equipment. The first thing I want to talk about is your face covering. Alright? Face coverings need to be worn as such. They need to be hooked around the ears, and they need to cover both the nose and to the bottom of the chin. That is a proper way to wear your face covering. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be this exact type, but as long as you're getting the proper coverage, excuse me, you're getting the proper coverage, that will cut down on the exposure to any kind of airborne bacteria or anything. So, students are to be responsible for their face covering. Now, I want to explain to everybody that coming back early, because we are a little early compared to the rest of the world, especially Lincoln Tech campuses. We're going to be one of the first coming back. And that's because we're looking okay with our numbers around the greater Nashville area. Things have improved, and we're excited about coming back. But we still need to consider coming back to campus as a privilege. Now, what we would like to have is students, after you go through this process of getting checked in, your wellness check, and you get issued your bracelet, we would prefer that students make plans to stay on campus for the remainder of the day. And that would mean bringing everything that you might need for the day. So we want to encourage everybody, and again, this is just to try to limit exposure to anything, but we would encourage everybody to bring the necessary amount of drinks, the necessary food, you know, bring your lunch with you, and that way you can have everything you need, so you would not need to leave campus. Because if you leave campus, we're going to have to have you go through the wellness check once again upon return. And that, again, is just for everybody's protection. So, thinking about this as a privilege, guys, have your face mask ready when you show up. Those latex gloves are optional. We want to keep everybody as safe as completely possible. Now, social distancing. I do need to go over that. Social distancing means that there's no more than 10 people in any given area. And in those areas, we need to maintain a minimum of 6 feet distance between each other. And that way, as one person breathes, another one does not ingest, you know, whatever's in the air, whatever gets stirred up. So, the only other few things I'd like to go over today before we come in is, guys, practice personal hygiene. Wash your hands as often as you can. Stay clean. We have hand sanitizer at different stations. Lincoln Tech, I assure you, is doing everything they can to protect its students and its faculty. So, please wash your hands as often as possible. We have disinfectant sprays that will be available in certain areas. And we need to cover door handles. For instance, when a student checks out a tool from a tool room, before they return it, it needs to be sprayed down out of respect for the next student that's going to use that same tool. I personally am a smoker. Now, you'll notice when you get here that they have roped off the smoking areas, because that can be a gathering point where students can congregate and very, very easily break those social distancing regulations. So, any smoking to be done on campus is to be done either in your vehicle or the front lawn in front of the mansion. Now, with that being the case, I want to encourage everybody to take care of this campus. This school has been here for 100 years. we have a rich tradition in what we do. And I love this place, I respect this place, so we ask that you keep your cigarette butts thrown in the right receptacles or a trash can. Let's not take this opportunity to you know, dirty up the parking lots and things like that with cigarette butts. Let's be responsible and take care of our own trash. There are certain things that instructors are going to be doing. They're going to keep any door that we can keep propped open so that it cuts down on the exposure of hand to doorknob and things like that. We're taking every precaution we possibly can to do that. So pretty much the schedule is going to remain the same for students. The start times in the day classes will remain the same. The start time for the afternoon classes, the evening classes will remain the same. We're probably going to stagger breaks a little better so that, you know, there aren't too many people congregating at the same time in any given location. So as we go along, this is very liquid. Things are liable to change. But as we're coming back and phasing students in, we're making improvements the whole time. So any suggestions or anything you might have, please get with your instructor so that they can pass it up the line. As we come in, one last order of business: restrooms. There should only be one student in a restroom at any given time. You know, if there was ever a place where your exposure is at a higher percentage possibility, it's going to be a restroom. So we're going to have occupied / vacant tabs that you can put on any given restroom. Please respect people's privacy and their right to that cleanliness. And if a restroom is occupied, please be patient and wait until the student comes out, and then you can go in and do what you came to do. This is all I have for you right now. Again, I want to thank you for your attention. I want to thank you ahead of time for your compliance with these safety regulations. This is the only way we're able to make this work. So we rely heavily upon your cooperation, and we thank you for your patience through this process. We look forward to moving up through the phases until we can maintain business as usual with no restrictions. I really look forward to that day as well. But thank you for your time today, and I really look forward to seeing you on campus very, very soon. Thank you.